The desire of every human being is to be remembered, honored, and recognized for their sacrifice and contributions to the society. The contributions and services of late Chief Paul Sunday Achimugu to the Nigerian society is extraordinary, especially in the cotton, textile, and garment subsector. As a textile expert whose expertise ranks above all others in Nigeria, the Paul and Mary Achimugu Foundation is being launched to immortalize him and continue his benevolent activities.
He was a man of many parts. He spent most of his adult life in the textile industry. In fact, he joined the textile industry about a decade after the first textile firm was established in Kaduna. I think the first was established about 1957, and I think also he joined the textile industry about 1968, maybe some 11 years after. He dominated the industry all his life, the entire value chain, from the farming, cultivation of cotton itself, to the ginning, and of course the textile firm. He was the vice chairman of Arewa Textiles Limited.
Born on the 10th of December 1944 at Ida in present-day Kogi State, late Chief Paul Sunday Achimugu attended Kwaibo Mission Primary School, Ida, from 1951 to 1952, and later St. George's Anglican Primary School, Zaria, from 1952 to 1959. From 1960 to 1966, he proceeded to St. Paul's College, Usasa, Zaria, and afterward to the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University from 1967 to 1968 for a diploma in accountancy course. Paul Sunday Achimugu, amongst other things, attended advanced training programs at Borough's Training School, South End, United Kingdom, for a computer program in 1971, and Kosan Training and Productivity Centers, Osaka, Japan in 1972 and 1981 respectively for management and entrepreneurship development programs. Late Chief Paul Sunday Achimugu's working career began as a teacher at Government Technical College, Ida, from where he moved to Arewa Textiles Limited, Kaduna, as an accountant from 1968 to 1970, and later manager, Arewa Textiles Limited, Lagos office. In 1978, he was appointed Commissioner, Trade, Industries and Cooperative in Old Benue State, and reappointed Commissioner, Finance and Economic Planning from 1978 to 1980. In 1981, he returned to Arewa Textiles Limited as Assistant General Manager and successively rose to become the Executive Director, Commercial, Arewa Textiles Limited in 1982, General Manager and Director, Arewa Textiles 1985, and subsequently Executive Vice Chairman, Arewa Textiles Limited. Today, the Paul and Mary Achimugu Foundation, PMA, is being formally launched to continue the philanthropic activities of late Chief Paul Sunday Achimugu, a foremost textile guru in Nigeria.
My late father was very, I'll say, or empowering his community and people around him. One thing he was very passionate about was education. And I know that in his lifetime, he sponsored a lot of young men and women to school, paying their school fees and stuff like that. I also know that, at least the community, he was able to get involved with the community, and that's anyway to assist, with providing running water and things like that. You know, those basic needs that for health considerations, and also employment. It's an area that he really also impacted on the lives of individuals. Using the platform of Arwa Textiles PLC in Kaduna, where he was responsible for employment of a lot of young men and women. A lot of them ended up, and of course going to night school and doing well for themselves. So it was really an opportunity for people to raise funds, to be able to fund their education on their own.
Chief P.S. Achimugu was chairman and member of boards of numerous notable organizations, such as chairman of defunct Eagle Bank Limited, Kogi State Investment Company, president Nigeria-Japan Association, and also president Overseas Spinning and Investment Company, Japan, amongst others.
A very pragmatic man. He did everything he was doing with full energy, conviction of purpose, commitment. He never did anything halfway, pursued whatever he believed in. A very diligent man.
As part of immortalizing the legacies of Chief Dr. Paul Sunday Achimugu, the Paul and Mary Achimugu Foundation will provide humanitarian services in the area of healthcare, education, and empowerment in the establishment of small-scale industries to indigent individuals in the rural areas across Nigeria.
What better way than to continue along that trajectory, That's why the foundation idea came to play. And what better time than to launch and honor my late father, if not for such a time as this, So it is established, to carry on his legacies as far as I'm concerned, philanthropic work.
Also, the PMA Foundation has endowed a professorial chair in the Department of Polymer and Textile Engineering at the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria.
The idea of that also stems from the lifetime of my father, the sector that he basically grew up in and played in, which is the cotton, textile, and garment sector. Now, the Ahmadu Bello University was solely responsible, or rather the first university to establish a textile department. My late father also attended the Ahmadu Bello University, and we looked at, this sector that I happen to be playing in at the moment as well, and obviously it's a passion that I got from the influence of my late father.
In a memorandum of understanding signed on the 2nd of August 2021 at Chelsea Hotel by the Vice Chancellor Ahmadu Bello University Zaria in the person of Professor Kabir Bala, who represented the university, and the president of Paul and Mary Achimugu Foundation, Chief Dr Anibe Achimugu, both parties agreed to deepen research in the CTG through collaborations.
Today's event is very, very auspicious. It is a day to mark in the history of Ahmadu Bello University's area. We have the largest agri-complex in this country in any university. And we have a special research project on cotton. We also have the Department of Textiles. So you can see that this chair will go a long way in enhancing our research in the textile business. I said the agri-sector because it is usually very, very useful to have collaborative research. So we have all of them in the university. We have the agri, we have the engineering, and we have the garment section, all in the university. So this, to say, it's an understatement to say that this is a very important event in the history of ABU is actually very, very auspicious, and I'm most delighted. My expectation is that it will reverse the trend. In any case, there are alternative sources to oil that are coming on, and they are being developed more and more. So we have to look some other ways for the sustenance of our economy. Now, the agri sector sustained our economy, as you mentioned. It was the largest employer of labor, its largest contributor to GDP. I think perhaps up till now, agri is still the largest contributor to GDP, with the perhaps exception of the ICT industry. And so, one day, I believe this agri sector will reclaim its place of pride in the history of this country, to be in the forefront of contribution to the economy. I expect this collaboration, this chair, this research project to contribute to that objective.
It's a great achievement. In fact, Anibe Achimugu is a true son of his father. I worked with the father for about 15 years. And that the three major passion of the father is education, health, and industrialization, as far as to my base of belief. And this shows that the son is a true son, because he is trying to fulfill the goal of the father. The university has three roles. One, teaching, research, and community service. So this endowment will fulfill the three issues.
In the partnership, PMA Foundation will award scholarship to indigent students and offer prizes to best graduating students. PMA Foundation is well aware of the importance of research in the development of a nation, as no country can survive in the 21st century without committing resources to research and development. Thus, the collaboration between the foundation and Ahmadu Bello University, which requires taking advantage of the brains in the university to deepen research, improve on scholarship, and grow the national economy. The foundation has also chosen to evolve a CTG think tank which will develop strategies, ideas, and research for the cotton subsector and act as the functional linkages between foundation and the academia. The think tank is a collection of industry players who are out to revive and restore the glory of the CTG and its roles in job creation and employment and investments.
The Paul and Mary Achimugu PMA Foundation is sponsoring the Cotton Textile think tank, CTG think tank. And the think tank, an association which consists of industry professionals, industry players, academicians. Most of the companies are beginning to do well because of central bank intervention, and the governor, Godwin Emefiele, have been so passionate about the sector, in reviving the sector.
And I beat my chest to say that the participation of cotton in the CTG, in the Uncle Boras program, was the first that took the value chain approach into consideration. In other words, when they were thinking of funding the farmers, they actually also were thinking of funding the ginning companies, the textile companies, the garmenters, and bringing the uniform services, the military, the police, civil defense, and bringing them to sign MOU, saying that they will source their uniform fabrics from Nigerian cotton, yes, made from Nigerian cotton, and by Nigerian textile companies. I mean, that was just a game changer. So Mr. Godwin Emefiele, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, within a very short period of time, has impacted significantly in the CTG sector of Nigeria.
A lot of researches are done, patented, and the industries don't commercialize the results of this research. This is one of the areas in which the CTG would also be looking into, where when they come up with results of research that are commercially viable, those of us who are players in the industry will be able to pick it up and put this into practice.
Some of the think tank members are Chief Anibe Achimugu. Chief Anibe Achimugu is the chairman, Paul and Mary Achimugu Foundation, PMA. Chief Anibe is the MD and CEO of Arewa Cotton and Allied Products Limited and President, National Cotton Association of Nigeria, NACOTAN. He holds a BSc in Accounting from the prestigious University of Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria, and a master's degree in Business Administration from Southern Cross University, Australia. He is currently pursuing a Doctor of Business Administration program in the same university. Mr. Ahmadu Achema. Ahmadu Achema is currently the Deputy General Manager of Arewa Cotton and Allied Products Limited, a graduate of Political Science from the University of Maiduguri and a master's degree holder in International Affairs and Diplomacy from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Mr. Achema has an active service in the CTG subsector that goes beyond 30 years, and with studies on the Songhai farms in Benin Republic and Asia rice value chain in Thailand. He is also a 2016 USDA Cochrane Fellow, University of Missouri, USA. Engineer Mukhtar I. Salau. Mr. Mukhtar Salau is an engineering graduate of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, a seasoned engineer and employee of Dangote Ginin Company since 1990 to date, where he is the COO, a consultant to most active ginneries in Nigeria, such as ABL Industries Funtua and Katsina Oil Mill. He is also the major client to Talmis Oil Mill, Kano. Chief Felix Egbamuno. Mr. Felix Egbamuno is a seasoned businessman and a cinematographer graduate of BBC College, London. He produced and directed several national television network documentaries, especially in the oil and gas sector. He was the producer of NNPC-sponsored oil and gas magazine TV program, Petroleum Perspective, which was transmitted weekly on 21 TV stations spread across Nigeria and ran for 10 years. He also worked as a consultant to the NNPC for over 22 years in information dissemination via the electronic media. Currently, Mr. Felix has a considerable investment in Femro 3 Nigeria Limited and serves as executive chairman and chairman of South Platinum Limited. Professor Olufemi Kashim Sumuno. Professor Sumuno is a retired university professor of fibers and polymers with several academic and scholarly publications in books and peer-reviewed journals. He is currently engaged as technical consultant, National Cotton Association of Nigeria, NACOTAN. Professor Umaru Semo Ishaku. Professor Ishaku has been teaching at the Department of Polymer and Textile Engineering, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, from 2010 to date. He was formerly an associate professor at the University of Science in Malaysia from 1994 to 2002, and a professor at Kyoto Institute of Technology, Japan from 2002 to 2006. He has published more than 150 journal articles with 8 textbook chapters and 1 patent. He has also supervised and graduated more than 50 MSc and PhDs, a former consultant at UNDP and UNIDO in Zambia and Liberia. Professor S.C.O. Ugbolue is a retired professor of polymer science and textile technology and former deputy vice chancellor at the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. He served as a pioneer head of Department of Textile Science and Technology, ABU Zaria. He also served and retired as Professor of Materials and Textiles from the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth, USA, a holder of several US patents and a consultant to polymer and textile industries. Presently, he is the Dean of Science and Director of Academic Planning at the Edwin Clark University, Kiagbodo, Delta State. Professor A. Giwa. Professor Giwa is a professor of textile science and technology and immediate past head of Department of Polymer and Textile Engineering at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He obtained his BSc, MSc and PhD in Textile Science and Technology from the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He has been studying, teaching, researching and presenting papers on the complete gamut of cotton, textile and garment value chains, problems and prospects. He has attended 48 national and international conferences and workshops where he was involved in the issues and policies that affect CTG value chain. At present, he has 102 publications in professional and university-referred journals. Honorable Sadiq Abubakar. Honorable Sadiq is an educationist who served as a classroom teacher up to principal and retired after 35 years. He was once a commissioner of agriculture in Sokoto State from 2004 to 2007, an astute farmer who engages in multiple crops like maize, rice and cotton. Honorable Sadiq is a national executive member of NACOTAN. Chief Dr. Paul Sunday Achimugu, while alive, was a recognized leader who contributed value and also made lives of other people better. The core essence of the foundation is for it to serve as a vehicle through which lives are touched, while upholding the legacies of Chief Achimugu in business and humanitarian deeds.
Today, 2nd of August, 2021 is the formal launching of the PMA Foundation, Paul and Mary Achimugu Foundation, and the CTG think tank group, which will also announce the Godwin MFLA CTG lecture series.
It is our conviction that the memory of late Chief Paul Sunday Achimugu shall live on through this foundation. Behind these humanistic efforts is the president of the National Cotton Association of Nigeria, NACOTAN, and the chairman of PMA Foundation, Chief Anibe Achimugu, a scion of the late cotton guru who has stepped into the big entrepreneurial and philanthropic shoes left behind by the revered Chief Anibe Achimugu. Is not only a cotton farmer like his father, but an innovative mind with a knack for success. He is an embodiment of brilliance, hard work, commitment, and integrity. Chief Anibe was born 50 years ago. He is married to Ibe Anibe. They are blessed with 4 children. To the couple, marriage is the best thing to have happened to them. This year is their 24th wedding anniversary. Congratulations from your associates, staff, and media team.